You're exhausted. You've been exhausted all day. You finally lie down, and your brain turns on like a light in an empty room. That's not insomnia. That's a nervous system that never got to learn that the night was safe. Picture a child in bed, listening, not to anything specific, to the house. The tone of a voice through a wall, footsteps on the landing, the particular silence that meant something was wrong versus the silence that meant things were okay. That child was not being anxious. That child was being accurate. The environment required monitoring, and the body volunteered. Neuroscientists call this hypervigilance, a state where the nervous system stays in low-level threat detection even when no threat is present. It is extraordinarily useful in an unpredictable home. It is extraordinarily expensive everywhere else. And the signs it left behind are not about sleep at all. Here's the first one. The first sign is that your mind accelerates the moment your body stops. All day you were busy, moving, working, managing, producing. Fine. Then you lie down, and every unprocessed thought from the last 72 hours arrives at once. Why did I say that? What if that goes wrong? I forgot to. It feels like your brain is broken. It is not broken. It is doing exactly what it learned to do. The moment external demands stop, it fills the silence with internal scanning, because silence was never neutral. Silence in the house you grew up in meant something was either about to happen or dangerously close to happening. So your brain fills it, automatically, protectively, without asking your permission. This isn't anxiety. This is what happens when a child's mind learned that stillness was the most dangerous time to stop paying attention. If that is familiar, leave a 1 in the comments. But the second sign is about what the tiredness actually is. The second sign is that you are tired in a way that has nothing to do with how much you slept. 8 hours. 6 hours? 4 hours. It doesn't move the number. You wake up already carrying the day. Not groggy, loaded. Like the rest never fully landed, because it didn't. Real rest requires something the body only does when it believes it is safe. A full release of the threat monitoring system. A genuine downshift of the nervous system into restoration. That release requires trust. And trust, for a body that grew up in an environment where things could change without warning, is not automatic. It is the thing you never fully learned to do. So you sleep, but one part of you stays on watch, every night. That part does not rest. It waits. And in the morning, you feel the cost of what it did all night, while you thought you were unconscious. This isn't poor sleep hygiene. This is what happens when a body was trained that switching off entirely was a risk it couldn't afford. The third sign is that you feel guilty when you try to rest during the day. You sit down, you're exhausted, your body's asking clearly, and something in you says, "You haven't earned this yet. Get up. Do something." Rest is for when everything is finished. Everything is never finished. So you don't rest. You push through until the pushing becomes the only mode you know, and stopping feels not like relief, but like failure. That guilt is not a personality trait. It is a learned equation from a home where stillness had a cost, where being visibly unproductive meant being a target or a burden, or simply invisible in a way that felt dangerous. You learned to stay in motion because motion was the proof that you were worth the space you occupied. Resting meant the proof stopped. This isn't laziness in reverse. This is what happens when a child learned that being still made them vulnerable. If that one landed, leave a 2 in the comments. What comes next is the part nobody names, the one that keeps the whole cycle locked. Now stop for a second. This is not a sleep problem. It was never a sleep problem. It is a safety problem. A body that never fully received the signal that the danger is over, still running a protocol built for a house it no longer lives in. You are not weak. You are not broken. You are someone whose survival system never got the memo that it was allowed to stand down. The last sign is where all of that finally makes the cost undeniable. The fourth sign, and the deepest one, is that you have forgotten what it feels like to be genuinely rested. Not just less tired, actually rested, light, present, in a body that isn't bracing. You have normalized the weight so completely that you no longer remember there was supposed to be an alternative. You think this is just adulthood. You think everyone feels this way and you are simply bad at coping. They don't. You aren't. What you are is someone who has been running on threat level energy for so long that baseline has shifted. The exhaustion is not the problem anymore. The exhaustion has become the weather, the permanent condition inside which everything else happens. And the cruelest part is this. The more exhausted you get, the harder genuine sleep becomes. The system is too depleted to properly downregulate, too wired to drop, too tired to rest. That is not a paradox. That is what an unresolved nervous system does when it has been running without a break since childhood. Here's what is actually true. The first false belief is that you need to fix your sleep. You need to teach your body that stillness is safe, and sleep will follow. The shift is small and physical. 5 minutes of genuine stillness, not to sleep, just to exist without producing. Let the discomfort come. Don't fill it. The second false belief is that rest must be earned. It must not. Your body does not restore on a merit system. The shift is to rest before you hit empty, not after, because running to collapse and calling that a break is not recovery. The third false belief is that this is just how you are wired. It is how you were trained. Nervous systems are not fixed. They update slowly, through repeated experience of safety. Every time you let yourself be still without something bad happening, you're sending new data to a very old system. It started with a child who learned that night was not a safe time to stop watching. That body is yours now. It still watches. It still waits for the footstep on the landing, the shift in tone, the thing that needs handling before it becomes a crisis. The cost is specific. It is the mornings you wake up already behind, the weekends that don't restore you, the holidays where you feel nothing lift, the version of rest you have read about but never actually experienced. What would change? Not tomorrow, not after some long process. If your body finally received the one thing it has been waiting for since childhood, actual, unconditional proof that the night is safe. Send this to someone who says they're always tired, because they're probably not looking for sleep tips. They're looking for someone to finally explain why.